Well, hey, good afternoon, everybody. We're right at 12:01. I saw there's a clown on that Jeep over there. There's Halloween decorations. People are decorating their cars here. We have October the 30th, 2025, the day before Halloween there. How's everybody doing there? Yeah, they were filming Chicago Fire there yesterday, the TV show. So we caught some of that. We'll head across. I want to go to Marshall Fields today. Yeah, we got Thursday, October the 30th, 2025. We got 12:02, 55 degrees. There's the, how you doing? I'm zooming into the train there. There's the pink line rounding the bend there, I think. That's at Lake and Wabash. We're heading that way. We'll cross the street here. We'll check out Nando's and Nutella's, and we'll see if anybody joins in. How you doing there, Ferguson there? I won't say your first name there. I can't tell if you're a friend or foe yet. Here's Valletta. How you doing there? T-Line Tea Time. Anita, thanks for being on there. Hey, Ryan, how you doing there? Oh, hot sauce. Ah, thank you. Yeah, hot sauce. Louisiana hot sauce there. They're handing them out here, right here at Lake in Michigan. You get you some Louisiana hot sauce there. Go with your peri-peri chicken there at Nando's. See, we got Nutella. There's not a line here, but there's there it is. See that? Okay, that's what I saw. I thought it was a clown. Let's go show it here before we cross the street here. So here, like, yeah, they're handing out hot sauce here. Here it is. This is the Louisiana. There's the free advertisement for Louisiana brand hot sauce there. I thought this was a Halloween car, but it's just handing out free hot sauce. How you doing? Thank you. Appreciate it. See, we got two. So hey, there's your free commercial for today. Louisiana hot sauce. Here's there's the Wrigley building. We're crossing Michigan Avenue again. We got 55 degrees. We're gonna head over to Marshall Fields, Macy's. I call it Marshall Fields, just like the Sears Tower. It's really Macy's. Macy's. I remember when the last Marshall Fields bags and stuff. Of course, you can get like the candies there, the Frango candies, or it still has the Marshall Field branding on it and things like that. But we're going to try to get up to the 7th floor and go to the Walnut Room. The Walnut Room in Macy's, formerly Marshall Fields. It's a tradition. One of the oldest department store restaurants, if not the oldest. It goes back to 1907. Look at that. They're working on the building there. There's always something going on. They got the glass there. They're installing some new glass or doing something. There's the parking garage. Oop. I don't know what it's got it right on the sidewalk, but hey, Julie Reed there. And thanks, Anita. Tea Time. Who else is tuning in here? Let's see. S-Fan Sky. Yeah, Tony. Thanks for tuning in there. Really, Julie Reed there. Richie. So there's a few buildings that survived the Chicago Fire. We talk about it. There's not hardly any in the Loop. There's Water Tower and the Pump House survived. Here's the Brown Line heading around. We got Wabash here. They repaved Wabash there. There's the Trump Tower. There's the Village building. Here, let's look at this. There's the train. It's right above us. There's the train right above us. Round in the bend here, the south. No, this is the northeast corner of the Loop. This is Wabash. Just looking south on Wabash. That sun feels good. It's cold in the shade, or cool in the shade, and it feels much sunnier in the or much warmer in the sun. So hey, we'll go past the Fashion Nails and Spa here. There's always people getting their nails done and their toes done. Ha! Well, here, let's go. We'll go by State Street. We'll go by the Chicago Theater. We'll head down to Macy's, Marshall Fields. I think they got Christmas decorations up. They put the trumpets up, even though it's not even Halloween. They're getting ready for November 1st. They're going to light the Christmas tree, or so I've heard, in the Walnut Room the day after Halloween, and that's Dia de los Muertos there. Here we're underneath the side entrance to the Chicago Theater here. There's the train around the bend there. Yeah, the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are one game away from winning the World Series. They got 2 more games to do it. They get to do it at home. The pressure's on the Dodgers there, but they still got to play the games and see, you know, how it goes out. It could go any number of directions. So, yeah, there it is. Chicago Theater. They're working on the Chick-fil-A here. Eminem, how you doing there? Joe, Deepak, millionaire, yeah. So hey, we got Chris, Delia, Sam Harris, Jeff Curry there at the Chicago Theater. We went by the Nederlander Theater, I think on Tuesday, and they, Ray, was that yesterday or Tuesday? I'm losing track of the days. The Sound of Music, there's a 2-week running of the Sound of Music at the Nederlander Theater. So we're heading south on State Street, the loop of Chicago. We got 1207, and if I missed your comment there, I might revert to, you know, just turning the comments off more, because it's my own personal failing as a facilitator here. You know, I kind of lost it this morning. I need to, for my own mental health, I need to sometimes just not get distracted by the comments. Not that I don't want to see most 90% of the comments are good. It's just after doing this for 3 years, you think I would get used to it, but I don't. And it's because, you know, I'm thinking about like doing like ASMR, like just like silent lives in the morning, because I need to clear my mind before I get to work. And after 3 years of doing this, my mental condition's getting worse. So it's not anybody's fault. It's not anybody's fault. It's my own fault. And so thanks for understanding. We want to keep this thing going here. So look, riding the wrong way in the bike path, it happens all the time. It's dangerous because you're not expecting, and the person is just too lazy to go one street over, which is they got a bike lane the other direction. People ride in the wrong direction all the time, which irks me, because what's the point of having bike lanes if you're not going to use them the right way? I ride bikes, you know, I use the bike lanes, you know, so I got room to talk here. Yeah, Marshall Fields, look, Marshall Film Company. Look at this old picture here. This is from the World War II era here. And there it is, Marshall Fields. You see that, Marshall Fields? This old picture here, there's the old clock. They used to use this in the Saturday Evening Post there. Norman Rockwell painted that. There's the Chicago Theater. There's the Nederlander Theater. Look at that. They got the Sound of Music. And here, let's head in here. They got the trumpets out. So they're working on the Christmas displays. Probably they'll unveil them after Halloween. So maybe next week we'll be able to see and of course, they're not as good as they used to be. Marshall Field used to do, no offense to Macy's, but you know, people in Chicago know what I mean. People in the comments will be like, we miss Marshall Field's window displays more than Macy's. But hey, at least Macy's is still operating a store, so thanks to Macy's for decorating this stuff for Christmas. And then right off the bat here, yeah, we saw them setting up here. It's even though we're before Halloween here. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Macy's here. This is on State and Randolph. We kind of entered from the State and Randolph corner, and right off the bat we got the nice skywell here, light well. They got the Christmas decorations here. We'll head to the main makeup counter floor, and then I probably will lose my connection. We'll snake our way up to the 7th floor. I'm not going to take an elevator. We'll go up the escalator, because this building's so massive, and these columns and thick walls. Yeah, I'll probably lose my connection, but stay with me. We're going to go to the 7th floor. We're going to try to get to the Walnut Room, and I don't know if I'll be able to give you any glimpses. That they might have it blocked off because they're setting up. They're getting ready for the Christmas tree lighting there on Saturday, November 1st. They're going to light the Christmas tree for the Walnut Room in Macy's Marshall Fields. How you doing here? Hey, are they lighting the Christmas tree on Saturday, I think? Yeah, okay. Yeah, Saturday morning. That's good. So, hey, very nice there. So, hey, these are all the makeup counters here at Marshall Fields. We'll give you an overview of the ground floor here. And again, you know, give the lady what she wants. You know, this store goes back to even before the turn of the century. I think this, like the Walnut Room, goes back to 1907. And Marshall Field expanded his store and added all this stuff. And it was supposed to be a upscale destination for women to shop. And it was one of the first places that provided respectable employment for women back over 150 years ago or 125 years ago. And think of that, you know, a young unmarried woman moving to the city of Chicago, she could find employment here working in a department store. And that was a big deal when, at that time, you know, not as many women were in the workforce. Here's the Tiffany Dome. We've shown this many times. I got a rerun on this. Here's the, yeah, see, look, he's filming it too there. He's got the, and they got a nice plaque over here that talks about it. And yeah, here's the, how you doing? I'm gonna film the sign here. Here's the Tiffany Dome here, unveiled September 30th, 1907 here. And see, so this Tiffany Dome was unveiled the same year as the Walnut Room that we're gonna see. We might stop at the 5th floor and look at it closer there. We've done that before since we're gonna go up there. I'll head up these stairs over here. Oh, so here's the Washington Street entrance, State Street entrance is over there. That goes over to Wabash. If you just joined me in Chicago, this is the Macy's, formerly Marshall Fields here. They just want to see if they're setting up for Christmas decorations. How you doing here? We'll head up the stairs. I know probably to the 3rd floor we'll have to use a different escalator. I think we can go up to the 2nd floor this way. Usually they block it off with mannequins and stuff. But here's the main makeup counter, perfumes, all the 1st floor. You might have seen, look at the columns here, these Corinthian columns. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Chevy Chase comes in here and talks to a woman working at the counter there. Here we're gonna go up to the 2nd level. Hey, Gisela there, Jason, Joe Mama, how you doing there? That's a funny name. It's Valletta. Yeah, Daryl, how you doing there? So here we'll see they block off. So we'll go use the escalator. We'll go look at this overlook here. How you doing? Yeah, here's the Tiffany Dome here. We'll get up to the 5th floor. We'll get closer to it because you can actually get in the arches there on upper levels and get a closer view of the iridescent. Yeah. Christy, very lucky guy. Mary's tuning in there. Yeah. Alvin, how you doing there? Yeah, how about those Blue Jays there? Yeah, I got anger issues. I know. I feel I let my mod team down all the time. They know I got anger issues. I never get over it. You know. Hopefully, things will work out once I get more financially stable. And I'm risking too much trying to short the stock market. We got to head to the other side here. And I'm not sure the Federal Reserve, he said that he sees no weakness anywhere in the economy, anywhere he looks. He says we're firing on all cylinders and we're at the all-time highs, and they still lowered interest rates, which, you know, that's what, if they didn't, the market would have, you know, they don't know if the December cut's going to be, you know, they want some uncertainty there, whatever. So here we're headed to the 3rd level of Macy's, formerly Marshall Fields. I'm going to lose my connection in and out here, so I'm just going to, I'm going to turn off the chat because I can't stand to listen. I know I'm buffering. I know people are going to tell me, thanks for letting me know. If you can't watch, so what? Watch something else. I could care less. But they block. And like a dummy, I went the wrong way because I'm looking at the comments. So that's why I'm turning off the comments so I can pay attention to where I'm walking here. So now I'll let you listen to the music. Hello, how you doing? Who is that handsome guy? Level, we got to go one more level. Be spotty connect. Hey, we're at the toy level here. I think they put women's lingerie next to the toys. I don't understand that either, but no comment. There we go. There's that dome over there. Yeah, we'll head past the Legos. So if you just joined, if I got a connection here, we're on the 5th level of Macy's, Marshall Fields. Hey, how you doing there? Look, I need a haircut, I know. Here, okay. So the Tiffany Dome, that's the same thing, unveiled September 30th, 1907. The world's largest example of an unbroken Tiffany fragile iridescent glass mosaic. Here it is. So look at that. We've come up here before. This is in the Macy's Marshall Fields. Here, I'll turn the comments back on. Let's see if my connection's back there. Yeah, some nice outfits there. Look at the detail. Look at that blue mother of pearl. That iridescent. There's tiles. There's literally millions of tiles in this thing, and they took the time to put this here. If you want to see this up close, like I'm at, you go to the 5th level of Macy's Marshall Fields here in Chicago, Illinois, and then you go past the toys and the women's lingerie, and you get up here, and you can see this. Let's walk all around it here. So here, I didn't mean to, I don't mean to film this risque clothing here, but that's what they got next to this thing, so we got to show it here. Here's yeah, look at that. That's like an early disco ball. That's what I call them here. Look at that. So don't worry, we're still going up to the 7th floor. We're going to try to check out the Walnut Room. I want to show a straight on view of this. Look at that. There's the we're on the 5th floor. Mia, givers and takers. Aisha, how you doing there? Yeah, tea time, Racer X. Thanks everybody. Hey, check this thing out here. Yeah, let's head around here. Yeah, I need some good sleep. Good night's sleep helps out a lot of stuff. And for the record, I realized that helicopter this morning was not a Black Hawk. When I first saw it, I thought it was a Black Hawk. We saw Black Hawk helicopters last week and the week before. It was probably a firefighter helicopter. I'm glad the nice person that I identify helicopters and knows their aircraft better than me, they corrected me, and I was like, yeah, I knew that, but I still went with the whole apocalypse now because the sun was rising. We still got ice. It's going to ruin a bunch of people's Halloween parties here, and I really sincerely hope people don't dress up as ice for Halloween because that's not funny. And why would you want to do that? I guess some people support what they're going on. I know, I understand that. There's a divided issue here. But here's the Tiffany Dome here in Marshall Fields here, Chicago, Illinois. Now it's Macy's. It used to be Marshall Fields. Look at that amazing detail there. And we got the old disco ball here. So hey, let's see if we can get up to the 7th level here. We'll go up to the Walnut Room here. Hey, you got the toys. As busy as it used to be 5 years after the pandemic, at least in this city. We were on. He knows a lot about the Lincoln Park Zoo and knows about the animals and when they get new ones, and great resource here. So hey, the 7th level of Macy's Marshall Fields here in Chicago. So you can get your Frango chocolates. Marshall. See, they still got the Marshall Fields bags. You can still get the old branding here with the clock. So you can get an ornament, a 2025 Marshall Fields clock for your Christmas tree. And here they already got the Christmas decorations out. There's the Walnut Room. We'll check it out here. Let's see if the Narcissus Room is open. Sometimes they got this open, and hopefully my connection will get you in the mood for. See, these are Christmas trees in years past. They're gonna on Saturday. That's from 1946. Here's from 1973. These are the prior Christmas trees in the Walnut Room. They're gonna you live in Chicago, it's tradition to dine, and it's to get people to shop here. They go up to the 7th floor and then they shop, hopefully buy something before they leave. But hey, imagine he's born in 1834. There he is, Marshall Field. The first department store here. State Street used to be. There's the corner there. That's what we just saw. The dome there. Here's all the business leaders. Look at all the old men there. And hey, look at this. This is some nice stuff. Look, am I streaming okay? Yeah, Christmas decorations everywhere. Yeah, you need that clock ornament. Look at this. That's a nice. I like their headdress. It's almost like a showgirl from Vegas. It's spinning around there. Look at that. She moves a little bit. See, that goes. That was. I guess these used to be in the window displays. These are historical mannequins they use in the window displays for Christmas or Halloween. This is when State Street would be that busy. You had elevated in the old cars there at State Street, and there's what we just saw. Look at this. Look at these old mannequins. They move around. They window displays. Fields. They're taking the China women from the China section, I guess from Chinatown. That's nice. Hey, look at they're making out. Look, it's Rod Stewart. No, I don't know who that is. Look at these. They got them working here. The old mannequins from the window displays. Hey, look at the women here. They got the bows in their hair. These are women that worked at. This is it, Bon Appetit. This is about the Walnut Room. For generations, a visit to Marshall Fields would not be complete without a meal in one of our restaurants. From traditional holiday lunches besides the great tree in the Walnut Room, and afternoon teas in the beautiful Narcissus Room, or a quick snack at the Midway Airport. Or I guess they had an outlet there, 7th floor. And look at all the women here. Hey, look at the king here. There's the royal court there. There's Rod Stewart with his queen there. I guess that's Prince. That's the Prince Fakir. Excuse me, I said it wrong here. Hey, they're painting the mannequins. Look at the little elves. They got the little elves. These are all things they used to use in the window displays. And here's the Narcissus Room. So I don't know if it's open. We have gotten into here before. I remember Chris, like 2 years ago, we were able to sneak in here. I'll keep my voice down. They got the old water fountains here. Look at the old water fountains here. But I think it's going to be locked. One time this door was open. Wow. Here's the Narcissus Room in Macy's Marshall Fields. This is a fountain. They got it turned off. There is some water at the bottom, so I guess they still run this fountain. This is the fountain in the Narcissus Room in Macy's Marshall Fields. I'm not going to stay here long because I'm sure I'm on security cameras right now, and they're like, why is this guy wandering through here? I'm trying to show the historical, you know, they use this room. You can rent it out for events. You see how they got it set up for a presentation there. And this is the Narcissus Room in Macy's Marshall Fields. I want to get the view. So that's Randolph Street. That's Randolph Street looking towards the lake. This is this is Wabash. This is Wabash Street. So let's see if we can get a view towards the elevated train tracks here. There's the bend. There's the bend in the elevated trains there. There's the Jewelers Building. If we can get the train around the bend, that would be amazing. We'll come back and see if we can get that. Let's go. Let's see what we see this way. This is looking towards the lake on Randolph, and I really want to get the train around in the bend here, but we'll probably have to wait a little bit. So hold on here. I'll check out the comments, and we'll see. Yeah, it's uppity. Everything's uppity here. Welcome to. I mean, this was an upscale shopping destination for women with means. You know, historically, Macy's, I guess, was the same thing in New York. Oh, your mom worked as an accountant here, early 40s and 50s. Yeah, the smell of the chocolate, the Frangos here, that's great. So let's keep on trucking. I really want to see the L train coming around there, or the CTA train, but usually when, you know, I'll wait here for 15 minutes and it'll never come. And then when I leave, 3 trains will come in a row. But look at the facades here. You can see the facades along this Wabash. Yeah, let's go a little further this way. See how here you can clearly see how they saved these facades. They tore down the buildings behind here and see how they used it as the amenity deck for this heritage. Is that the train? Is that the train? I think I hear the train coming here. So let's get the train around the bend here. Yeah, there it is. Good. So look at the train. There's the CTA train around in the bend there. And we got to see it there. Look at that. Good. See, as soon as I left, the train went by. And there it is. You see it? No, here comes one the other way. Good. So we'll get to see a train going the other way here. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to the Narcissus Room in Macy's Marshall Fields. We're looking north on Wabash. There's the bend at Lake and Wabash, the northeast corner of the loop. And there's a Green Line train round in the bend there. It's only 6 cars. There's the Jewelers Building, the Trump Tower. This is looking north on Wabash from Randolph Street. Murphy's Law, you got it. What goes up must come down. Melbourne, Australia. Colin, how you doing there? Yeah, Bard down. Here, let's check out this fountain here. Tombot, yeah, thanks Tombot for tuning in. Thanks for gifting all those memberships too. Really appreciate it. Yeah, it's a great view. That's why I want to stick around and get that train there. Look at this fountain. This is the Narcissus Room. This is the fountain in the Narcissus Room in Macy's, formerly Marshall Fields. A lot of Chicagoans have memories, especially once we get to the Walnut Room. Let's see if we can. I'll have to be really careful because there'll be people setting up stuff. And see the elevators here. Look, they got a wow. Look, they got a bunch of memorabilia here. Talks about that's the Tiffany Dome that we just saw. The dome ceiling, Louis Comfort Tiffany, 6,000 square feet, largest Tiffany Dome in the world. Look at the old carousel. What's this stuff? Macy's Flower Show. They have this stuff. So this place is like a museum. Look at these columns, you know. And we were worried that this might have shut down in 2022, but it's still going strong here. And we'll see if the food court's still. I see you got look at all the candy. Look at all the candy on the Christmas tree. These are Christmas trees from Christmas this past year. There, you got the Santa Clauses. Hey, he's got the coffee. Got the coffee and the little donuts there. Yeah, let's check out the Christmas trees. How you doing? They're beautiful. I like the Christmas stuff here. You can get your ornaments. Look at that. Yeah, you get your snow globes. Get your Santa Claus. Look at that candy cane Christmas tree. The original craft and complete Great House, Whitehall, Shrewsbury, 1603. So this was from England. This was fabricated in the old England, 1603. During the reign of King James I. The Great House in Whitehall, visited by royalty such as King Charles and King James and Oliver Cromwell. They executed King James II. Oliver Fields here because they just decorated everything for Christmas, even though we're not to Halloween. And look at all this tableware. You get your holiday plates and dining set. You get your gift wrap. Get your Frango chocolates. Get all your Frango chocolates. Get your look at that. To get your ornaments. They got everything here. They got everything. Oh, look at this. You get your candy canes there, your candy burger. So here, we'll go to where that. We'll go and we'll take a peek here. So if you just joined, this is Macy's, former Marshall Fields here. This is the Walnut Room, celebrating 118 years. This was opened in 1907. And there it's a Chicago tradition when they light this Christmas, they're going to light this Christmas tree. How you doing? They're going to light this Christmas tree on Saturday. Look at that. How you doing? Hi, how you doing?
You're welcome to come in.
Oh, is that okay? Yeah, this is great. You're going to light it.
You can have lunch and dinner too. We have a brand new menu.
Oh, good, good.
Marshall Field.
This is it?
This is the first time they're honoring it back in full circle.
Full circle.
Not just Macy's, the original.
The original.
They're bringing it back with Macy's. So
Very nice.
Marshall Field starting right now.
It's going to be starting Marshall Fields. They're going to call it Marshall Fields here at the Walnut Room. This is the Christmas tree they're going to decorate, or they're going to light. They're going to light it on Saturday morning, and they're bringing it back to the old way. It's not just Macy's. They're going to call it Marshall Fields. And here's the wine bar. People are dining here. People are dining here. Here's the Walnut Room here. I won't bother the people eating there, but we'll just stay here. And you see how you got beautiful views. You got beautiful views. And I think this is looking towards State Streets on this side, and this is no, this is State Street. This is Washington Street. We're at the south end of the building, and here's the Christmas tree. Look at that giant Christmas tree. This is in the Walnut Room. They're going to light this on Saturday. I know I sound like a broken record, but I'm trying to inform people where we're at here. And then the reason it's called the Walnut Room, this is Russian walnut, and it was originally called something else, like the South Grill or something. And everybody started calling it the Walnut Room because of these walnut panels that Marshall Field had imported and used there. He used really quality materials. And oh yeah, look how many ornaments are here. I want to sneak over here. I want to look out the windows, but I don't want to bother anybody eating, so I'll lower my voice. There I am here, and we'll see if we can get to a window without impeding anybody here eating here. Everybody's sitting by a window here. Yeah, we'll head over here. I just want to get to the window here. So here, you see where we're at here. There's the mural. There's the mural for Muddy Waters. That's the mural for Muddy Waters. This is looking south on State Street. These amazing views you get here are worth it too, and the food's great too. This is the Walnut Room. Here, we'll head over here. And so this is looking west on Washington Street. This is State Street. See, this is Block 37, and here we'll head around here. I'm trying not to impede people. I'm trying not to impede people eating here. I know I'm freaking people out here because the last thing people need to eat while they're dining is to have somebody like me walking through here. So here here's the bar. Here's the bar. Here's the wine bar at the Walnut Room. And hey, there it is. Here's the Christmas tree. Look how you can look up. See, this building goes even higher, even though we're on the 7th floor. It goes higher. So hey, we made it to the Walnut Room. And again, Saturday they're going to light this tree. And let's look at the chandeliers here. Wow, they got a big chair over here. The elegant dining room. There, see, Marshall Fields.
Walnut Room?
What? Because the panels, are they from Russia?
Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
thank you.
Good at this.
Well, I looked it up before I came here. So this is
chandeliers from Austria, yeah.
Chandeliers from Austria. Okay.
And then people have asked about the other Macy's around the country, and are they going to do, what's their theme? Well, there's only one tree.
That's it.
So this is homage to the original.
Marshall Fields, right here. You're going to light this up.
Yeah.
First department from 1907. Yeah. Wow. Very nice. Thank you so much.
I thought you got to eat and drink in between, so then they created
the
chicken pot.
Thank you. Thanks for the good information. So yeah, the chandeliers are from Austria. The paneling's from Russia. Marshall Field didn't skimp on the materials. I noticed there's a chair over here. So the kitchen's here. Look at that chair here. I don't know. The restrooms are here. I don't know. Maybe the tenant, you got to have a card that goes to. If you want to go higher up, you got to have secure access because there's offices above here. But here's the Walnut Room. And thanks for tuning in. We got up here. Look at these details. Look at that fleur de lis. There's a fleur de lis up there, and all this wood paneling here. Very nice. So there's people already eating here. Yeah, Vince and Kayla in your Walnut Room, the Narcissus Room, Culinary Studio. It's all right here. How you doing? And thank you.
Can we find you on social media?
I'm Brian Really Chicago. Yeah, I'm on Brian Really Chicago.
Brian what Chicago?
Really, REALLY. Brian Really Chicago. Yeah, really. Yeah.
Brian Really Chicago, and you're a Chicago blogger?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube and TikTok.
Oh, perfect.
So, yeah.
Brian Really Chicago, and you're supporting us. Thank you.
Yes. No, I'm
and
sure.
Your phone. Yeah. Tell them we're booked through January, but maybe they can get a reservation.
I know. That's why I told them the reservations are all booked up. Good. Thank you so much. That is great. So hey, see, look, that's the nice staff here, and I thank them for letting me film there, and we'll promote the Walnut Room in Marshall Fields here. Hey, thanks for staying on so long, everybody. Peace, Elisa. Are you seeing this, Christy? Anita, here's the see. We were down below. We're 7 floors up. Remember when we started, we were down there at the bottom. This is, and it goes all the way up to like 12 floors. But this is the food court. There's still a food court here on the 7th floor. This used to be larger, but they kind of scaled it back a little bit. But there is still some things here, and you can sit right here next to this light well, and we'll go check out the views from the windows here, and we'll show you the restaurants here. We got State of Taco, Chef Takashi Yagahashi. Here, we'll head over to this corner here because no one's sitting over here, and we'll try to film out the window here. Hey, you can eat here. I've eaten here for years because I've been working downtown in the Loop for years, and we used to come up here at lunchtime all the time. So hey, we're gonna get a nice view to the Chicago Theater. The views are great. This is the 7th level of Macy's here. This is State Street. Look how State Street's all under construction. There's the Chicago Theater, there's the Marina Towers, and there's the Leo Burnett Building. This is Joffrey Ballet, this is State and Randolph. And so here's looking west on Randolph. There's the Nederlander Theater. Remember, we were just there? The Sound of Music. There was a bunch of people out there for a matinee showing. And there's that Blick. And this is Block 37. You can see the roof terraces, the amenities for the housing above the shopping there. And we'll head back down there. So hey, here's your nice overview of Macy's, Marshall Fields here, the Walnut Room. We got in the Narcissus Room. And we'll cut out some reruns here and we'll post it. And thanks for watching it live. And now I got to find the escalator to go back down. I'll probably lose my connection. Yeah, thanks for hitting the like button if you like this content. If you hit the thumbs up, it's easy to do. Just double tap the screen here. It allows more people to find this content. The single most important thing to videos doing well on YouTube is the thumbs up. I know with TikTok you tap the screen, you give the hearts and all that stuff, but they got the different system. So we'll play the game here. Here's 7 on State, Monday to Friday, 11 to 2. It's open from 11 to 2 here. So here we'll find the escalator and we'll head back down. So I'm gonna lose my connection when we head down. I lost it on the way up, so be prepared for that. If I drop out, stay on. We'll come back down to the street and we'll head back. I'll probably head straight for the Bean. We'll go straight for the Bean, and we'll end the live at Millennium Park there. So we got 12:43. It'll take us about 5 minutes to get there once we get out of the store. So I can't find the way down. Let's go. Maybe it's right over here. There. Yeah, see, I didn't go far enough. I went the wrong way. So hey, I'm going to lose my connection, but I'll as quickly as possible walk down the elevators. Just in case I'm still streaming. Here's the rugs. Six floors luxury rugs here. So we can't go down there. Man, they make this frustrating. Okay, here's another escalator over here, so we'll go down this one. It's like a maze in here. We're lost on the 6th floor. Hey, at least this is going down. Hey, that's a nice little couch there. Look at that. Hey, we'll head down to the 5th level. Yeah, it's like a maze. We're lost in the department store. We have to buy something to get out. Hey, see Ralph Lauren. They got all kinds of brands. The same brands you find on Oak Street, you'll find here. Just like Nordstrom, you'll find Prada and all the big luxury brands. Same with the makeup counters. Stores within stores. See Michael Kors, you know. This is Macy's here, Marshall Fields, Chicago, Illinois. Now we're making progress. Still doing the Macy's. Hey, you can nap on the couch. I'm gonna have to take a nap after this too. Hey, Hugo Boss here. We'll head around. Hey, Polo Ralph Lauren. I think we're almost down to the main level here. We'll go past the fountain. There's a fountain. See, we'll head straight out that way. Yeah, it's a good old 90s. This was like an original Anchor, but it was 12 stories at one time. It was larger square footage than a mall, at least for one store. And here's the fountain here. This fountain wasn't always here. They added it like in the late 1980s. In 1987. So they was always intended to be a fountain. They finally put it here. It looks like an old time fountain, but it's just molded that way. They made a historic looking fountain and stuck it inside there. But here we'll head out to Wabash here and we'll leave Marshall Fields. Thanks for tuning in for that. That was fun stuff there. So if you missed any part of this, you can rewind. That's the good thing about YouTube. You can rewind it like a TiVo. You can start it from the beginning, pause it, and fast forward. And here we're back outside. Here we're on Wabash. And should I head? I should head this way. I should head this way for a store for men. We'll head down to Washington Street, and we'll head right over to Millennium Park here. This is Wabash. There's the elevated trains here, Loop of Chicago. We got October the 30th, day before Halloween here. We got 12:46 in the PM, 55 degrees, not bad at all. I'm just wearing a light jacket. And here, let's head over to Millennium Park. TV series, yeah, Marshall Fields. Good times, yeah, good times to talk about Marshall Fields. I bet they talked about Carson Perry Scott and good Goldblatts. There was Polk Brothers. There's all kinds of stores. Here, let's get across the street here. The light's about to change. We made it. Hey, we'll cross over this way. So here's the Washington Wabash station here. Here comes the train. There's the green line heading south on Wabash here. So that's that building they built on the corner there. We saw a historic photo of them doing that. This is Washington Street. It's heading into the Wabash and Washington station there. The green line here. We're on this bus bump out. Pittsfield Cafe, we got footage on the inside of that. The guy on TikTok bought this skyscraper and converting it to housing. Some of it's already housing. He's going to probably take it the whole way. 100 years season of Chicago Blackhawks. Chicago Blackhawks are one of the original 6 NHL hockey teams. 100 years old. Can you believe that? Blackhawks were playing in 1925. Ha! Yeah, 50 years ago. Gene, you know what we're talking about there. Super. Pete's tuning in from Hazlitt. Pete knows. Elder. Yeah, blue skies. You got storms of wind. Yeah, new discovery. Thanks, T-Lime Tea Time. Yeah, we've gone there before. It was probably before you discovered our channel. We went there 2 years ago and did the same whole tour. Probably the same time of the year. We went up to the Walnut Room and checked it out there. Right here, we're going to head to Millennium Park here. We got 12:48. We'll just check out the Bean, and then I got to get back to work. This is my lunch break. I already got some food for lunch, and so here we'll head across the street there. Here's Michigan Avenue. Here's the Michigan Avenue street wall, and the light just changed, so we'll wait here. Here's the old library. Now it's the Cultural Center. We're at Washington and Michigan, and there's the Grant Park North garage parking entrance. This is the Willoughby Tower, and then there's the Chicago. That's the old Montgomery Wards. That's the old Montgomery Wards there. If you go further down, there's the next block south. There's the Chicago Athletic Association Hotel, but we're waiting to cross the street here. Now we got the light, so here we'll cross Michigan Avenue. We got this amazing view to the Wrigley Building, looking north there. If I can zoom in, there we go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, very nice. And then there's how you get to the garage there. Michigan Avenue. The Art Institute of Chicago. There's that street wall looking down there towards the Sunball. So we'll head in the Millennium Park here. What's this? Very nice. But it's not too bad of a day. It's pleasant, cool, but it feels like fall. See, they're completely breaking down the whole bar there. They're going to turn that into the ice skating rink pretty soon. Yeah. Yeah, it was on TikTok. Yeah, I think. Oh, I don't know what you're asking there. I'm sorry. Yeah, this was the original Chicago Public Library. The story about that building is when the Great Chicago Fire happened, and one of the stories about that building is when the Great Chicago Fire happened in 1871, when the news got to England, Queen Victoria heard about the Great Chicago Fire, and she assumed that a city of 300,000 people in the United States of America at that time would have had a library that burnt down because the whole central business burnt down. The funny thing is, Chicago did not have a library at that time because it grew so rapidly that didn't have the public infrastructure of other cities that have been more well established. And so she felt empathy for the Chicagoans, so she donated like 10,000 books from her private collection that became the basis of Chicago Public Library's book collection. So it took them 20 years. By the 1890s, they finally built a library worthy of Queen Victoria's books that you could check out, and that was the original main public library, and it was replaced eventually by the Harold Washington Library, which is even larger. That was built around 1990. But even before that, they converted this to the Cultural Center, and you can still go inside there. We'll go inside there later this winter when cold days. We'll go inside there, and they usually have museum collections and stuff. Sometimes they don't want me filming in there, but lately I've been lucking out. I've been able to smuggle some footage out. And I think it's culturally, I mean, you know, it's educational, you know. And you see the Tiffany Domes. But here's the Great Bean of Chicago. This is Cloud Gate. Anish Kapoor, the artist from London that won the competition in 2004. They finally built this in 2006. And pretty popular. People like all times of the year coming here to check out the bean there. Cloud Gate, you can flick the bean. You can see yourself in the mirrors there. You can talk to the man in the bean. He never talks back. Hey, there's a wedding. Hey, they're taking some nice wedding photos here in front of the bean there. Let's see the nuptial couple here. Yeah, there they go. Hey, very nice. Yeah, congratulations. Very nice. Hey, look at that. That's a nice contraption. That's very nice. See, I think it's like a shot glass thing. Yeah, that's very nice. Very nice. You get your drink on. But there's the Great Bean of Chicago. Looks nice in the sun, doesn't it? Yeah, flick the bean. Yeah, people usually ask me to. People usually ask that. You know, there's this conspiracy theory that there's a man trapped in the bean. There's all kinds of weird urban legends about the bean. Yeah, the man in the moon, the man in the bean. Here, we'll walk right up to it. Here, we'll knock on it. I won't flick it. I'll knock on it. There it is. There's the Great Bean of Chicago. You hear that? It's hollow. Somebody knocking back? Yeah. So hey, we'll see what happens in the World Series tonight. The Blue Jays won 6-1 yesterday in Los Angeles, so it heads back to Toronto for the last possibly 2 games. The Toronto has a chance to win it. I think they don't play tonight. I think they have a day off, right? So this weekend will determine the winner of the 2025 World Series. It could be a Canadian team. And I'm very eagerly anticipating what the president would have to say about a Canadian team winning the World Series. He'll put some tariffs on MLB, maybe. That's a joke. That's a joke. I'm trying to maintain some levity here instead of yelling at people here. Here's the Great Bean of Chicago. Look at that. Yeah, everybody's taking their glamour shots here. But hey, I gotta head back to work here. We got 12:54. Thanks for tuning in there. If you missed any part of this, we went inside the Walnut Room in Macy's. They got the Christmas tree set up. We got to tour the room there. We went to the Narcissus room on the 7th floor. We also toured the 5th floor with the Tiffany Dome within the Macy's Marshall Fields there, and we toured the main floor. They already got Christmas decorations. They got a bunch of Christmas trees. You can get in the holiday spirit here. They haven't opened the window displays on State Street yet. They'll probably do that after Halloween, and then we'll check that out next week, and then we'll probably go by the Daily Plaza next week, and we'll check out if they're setting up for the Kris Kringle Market, which is another sign of the changing season. Eventually they'll set up the large official Christmas tree for Millennium Park in the city of Chicago. They usually cut down a real live tree for somebody donates from their yard, and they move it here, they haul it here with the truck, and they set it up, and then they spend about 2 weeks setting up the lights. So probably in a few weeks we'll see them setting up the Christmas tree here. There'll be a bunch of cranes, and they'll be putting lights on it. And then usually the Saturday before Thanksgiving, they do the official Christmas tree lighting, and then they do the parade on State Street, where they turn on the lights, Christmas holiday lights for Michigan Avenue. And we've covered that the last 2 years in some form. We'll try to do it again. So hey, you're in the right place here. We got many Chicago live streamers. Other Chicago live streamers will be covering this. Here's let's just check out the colonnade. Hey, we got a tour. Yeah. Isn't that amazing? They're tour in Spanish. A tour in Spanish for people out of town here visiting Chicago. Isn't that great? It's either clapping for you. Here's the colonnade. So Aisha, Joe Neal. Yeah, gee, good afternoon there. Thanks for watching. Anthony Lee. Yeah. Oh, Anthony Lee. Yeah, people always try to get people scared. You know, just because I feel comfortable walking like in the lower streets, I'm not recommending anybody that's new to Chicago to just go explore, and you'll get lost down there. People's GPS doesn't work. I feel completely comfortable going down there because I've been going down there for years. Yes, there's been homeless people living down there for years. You'll find people yelling at you. There'll be all kinds of weird stuff going on. You know, it's the big bad city. You know, anything you'll find in New York City, you'll find in Chicago. You'll find junkies down there. You'll find people, they would go down there and do drag racing. They would do drag, and people would get caught in the drag racing, and you know. But yeah, underneath here, there's 3 levels or two levels. It's not really underground. It's the ground is below us. This is all a parking deck with the green roof, which is the park. So here's Millennium Park. We'll show you the map here. So see, there's the ice skating rink. Here's the bean. This is a map. We're right here. We're gonna walk this way. This is north. This is Randolph. This is Michigan Avenue. See how you enter the parking garage? There's parking garages underneath all this, and there's train tracks that go underneath this and go into Millennium Station. Here's the Pritzker Pavilion. They're redoing it, all the seating, the Lurie Gardens. This is the BP Bridge. How you get over? Remember, we walked there, and you get the ice skating ribbon, which is here, the Maggie Daley Park. And this is all the map here for the this general area. There it shows the garages. So this restaurant never opened because Estaloca went there. It's so funny that the restaurant went there. They built this for a restaurant, and it's been for a year. No restaurant will pay the lease. And here we got the Tabasco sauce. We already got the free sample there. There goes the Louisiana Tabasco. They're handing out little free samples here. Hey, there's 35. Hey, there's the Chicago Fire Department ambulance there. Most firehouses have an ambulance with the fire trucks. So there'll be 2 fire trucks, a ladder truck, a regular engine, and then there'll be a life squad usually assigned to every firehouse here in Chicago. Yeah, great walk there. That's why we do this at lunchtime. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, sorry my morning walk was truncated. I for weird reasons that I won't get into, I somehow lost my composure and decided to abort my YouTube live. And I tried to restart it. If I just was impatient, I could have restarted it. And then on a whim, I just decided to do a silent walk on TikTok. And then people, I was amazed. We had over 200 people. I wasn't even talking. And it was just the beautiful sunrise there. And then I saw the helicopter and started acting like Apocalypse Now. And I started acting like the characters in Apocalypse Now. I'm sure it freaked a lot of people out. They're like, who's this crazy guy yelling at this helicopter doing the Ride the Valkyries by Wagner, which was used in the movie. I was just kind of mocking the whole situation we're in here. I felt better. I felt better after that. So thanks for letting me, in my own crazy way, get out of my funk. And we'll continue. We'll be on YouTube tonight after 5. And then tomorrow night we're going to do, I'll probably work from home tomorrow. If I work from home tomorrow, we'll go to the zoo at lunch. We'll see if we can see the new bears. There's 2 new female grizzly bears that they loaned one of the polar bears, the male polar bear, to the Madison, Wisconsin Zoo. And Madison, Wisconsin loaned Lincoln Park Zoo 2 grizzly bears. And so we'll check them out. Ernesto Chicago Nuggies already captured him. He was there earlier this week. But then we'll do the haunted Halstead at Friday night. And if I have enough battery, we'll head over to Wrigleyville and see if we were dressed up for Halloween on Friday night partying. But that haunted Halstead, it's a costume contest, $4,000 worth of prizes. We went to it the last 2 years. It should be fun. So, hey, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to head back to work. We got 1 o'clock, so have a good day here from Chicago. Check out yesterday. They were filming for Chicago Fire right now, or right here. And I'm gonna drink this Louisiana hot sauce and get some Chicago Fire in my mouth. So, have a good rest of your day. And we'll see you after 5 tonight. Thanks a lot. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, mods. You guys are great. And check out the rerun there of Marshall Fields there in Walnut Room. Yeah, Doreen, have a good afternoon. Peace, Elisa. Thanks for being on. Anita, thanks for being on. Aisha, hope you had a good birthday. Doreen, Jonelle, Elder. Number 1 Big Mac meal. Son, see you, G. Okay, we'll talk to you later. Okay, I'm signing off.